Good
Good
morning,
morning,
sir.
sir. Good
Am I
morning,
audible to
sir.
all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes. Good
Yes,
morning, sir.
yes, sir.
Firstly, good morning to all of you, all the faculties and students of Kendriya Vidyalaya. Firstly, I will introduce myself. My name is Captain Praveen Singh Negi, and I'm currently serving in 1861 Medium Regiment. It is ultralight howitzer. Firstly, I'm privileged to be here in front of all of you to interact with you. I will interacting you on two things. Firstly, is 75 years of our independence, the glorious day in our history, and then I'll be sharing my thoughts on life of a young officer in Indian Army. I would like you to interact as much as you can with me, and as many questions you have, you can ask me anytime and stop me in between. I'll be free to answer those questions. So shall we start?
Yes,
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
With the 200 years
Sir.
of in British rule, the Britishers who came here as
Yes, sir.
merchants. Initially, they came here as merchant with a lucrative spice trade. They came, they used the policy of divide and rule to rule a country, for which they gained success. They use the propaganda that we Indians are not civilized and they are here to civilize us. The rise in nationalism in our country was basically due to these things. We Indians were treated less than the Britishers. We all lacked equal job opportunities in our own country. And we're not allowed to advance to higher position in government and serving in our own army also. With the revolution over the years and the many revolts came, some of the major revolts which you are all aware of also, the Great Indian Rebellion, the first revolt, 1857, Mangal Pandey, the formation of Congress, the civil disobedience movement, Salt Satyagraha, in which a Dandi March was famous, revolutionary movement, and two major movements which happened later in 1940s, Quit India movement and Independence Day. And finally, with all this revolution over many years, India got independence on 15 August 1947. The famous revolutionaries who led the struggle for our freedom was Lala Lajpat Rai, who revolted against all the Britishers. Simon Commission, he was beaten to death by the Britishers with sticks. Chandrasekhar Azad, who blew the Viceroy train, bombed the British Assembly. Shahid Bhagat Singh, who was sent to the gallows at the age of 24. And there were many revolutionaries who led the freedom struggle of India. And more I would like to add like Shahid Udham Singh, who revolted against the Jallianwala Bagh massacre in Amritsar. And then the famous Mahatma Gandhi, who was also known as the father of the nation, the Bapu, was the most important person responsible for independence. He believed in the truth and non-violence, the main weapons which he used to start any movement. I will only talk about two movements. Firstly, the non-cooperation movement. In the non-cooperation movement, we Indians started believing that we have to think about ourselves. We started boycotting the foreign goods, liquor shops, and picketed. The thing the Britishers used initially when they came to our country as a merchant. We started burning foreign clothes. Merchants and traders refused to trade in foreign goods. It was a major movement which led to the freedom of India. The second major movement was the Quit India movement, which happened in 1940s. The Mahatma Gandhi started this movement in which he declared that I want freedom immediately, this very night before dawn, if it can be had. And the Britishers has to listen to him. Gandhiji, Nehruji, and thousands of supporters were imposed, imprisoned, and the Indian National Congress was outlawed. For the independence which we are feeling, there are many freedom fighters and political leaders, prominent leaders who have given their blood, sweat, and sacrificed their lives and careers so we could live free today. And on the occasion of the upcoming 75 year of our independence, I would like to wish all of you a very, very happy Independence Day in advance. Now, as an army officer, I joined my army in 2016. I got commissioned in Indian Artillery. As an army officer, I would like to share my thoughts with all of you and how to join Indian Army. Firstly, I will start with a video that motivated me. I saw this video on a social media platform which motivated me as an army officer to join Indian Army. I would like to share the same video with all of you, and then we'll start our interaction ahead.
I'm an officer in the Indian Army. I'm a son to two mothers. One bore me, but the other, my country. She made me. She made me the man that I am. And every time she calls, I shall hear and I shall heed. For she sings to me in my hour of need.
सब कुछ तू ही जान मेरी तेरे हाथों की लकीरों में तकदीर मेरी तू जो हारी है हार मेरी उठे सर भी मेरा जो हो जीत तेरी तू न चलेगा अकेला कभी की संग चलेगी मेरी दुआ तू न थकेगा कभी की ताकत तुझ में लाखों की है तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल जिस दिन मेरे एक सुकून सा था सीने में मेरे कि महफूज है तेरे हाथों में तेरे पहरे में आंगन मेरा चलेगा अकेला कभी की संग चलेगी मेरी दुआ तू न थकेगा कभी की ताकत तुझ में लाखों की है तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू चलता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू बढ़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू लड़ता चल तू लड़ता चल
one thing remains the same. That is your task and your duty. You are required to ensure the security of this country against any aggression. What does that mean for you? It means that you should have to fight and fight to win. I look around, I see parents, I see relations, I see friends who are looking at you with trust and pride. Make sure, gentlemen, that you don't betray their trust or their pride. May the winds of fortune blow kindly upon you, and may good luck attend all your deeds.
सर भी मेरा जो हो, जीत तेरी तू न चलेगा अकेला कभी की संग चलेगी मेरी दुआ, तू न थकेगा कभी की ताकत तुझ में लाखों की है। तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू चलता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू बढ़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल, तू लड़ता चल।
I wanted to start this lecture with the video to give you all a glimpse of the life in army, this elite profession of arm. And I must say, in the starting of the video, you saw a cadet was sleeping, trying to sleep in the class. And by the end of the video, the same cadet fired the gun in which the regiment in which he got commissioned. Such is the life of an army officer in Indian Army. My aim would be to acquaint you with the career prospects in the Indian Army. To cover this class, I will be going through the role and organization of the Army, in which I briefly tell you about the role and the organization of the Army and the life in the Army. Emoluments, what are the service benefits? What are the benefit which you get when you get enrolled in Army? What are the entry schemes and how to join the Army? Firstly, as a young cadet, before joining the Army, there were some attributes of a satisfying profession which always I was looking for before joining the Army. For me, those were the job satisfaction, professional advancement, the job security, economic stability, social status, quality of life, and at the end, adventure. These were the things which I was looking forward to before I passed out from my school. And when I passed out from my school, I always wanted to join a profession which could provide me all these things. It was difficult at time to find such kind of profession, but then when I got through my training and I got commissioned in Army, I feel that all these attributes are now fulfilled. What is the primary role of an army in India? Our primary role is to preserve national interest and safeguard the sovereignty, territorial integrity and unity of India against any external threats by deterrence or by waging war. Be it in Jammu and Kashmir, be it in Northeast, our primary role is to preserve our national interest. There are many roles which can be assigned to a regular army, and it can vary from task to task. A secondary role could be to defend the nation against internal threats and challenges such as proxy war by assisting the government. We can be an assistance to a government to solve its internal problems also, like in flood relief, to provide the aid to civil authorities whenever requisite. So a task which can be given to an army can be in various ways, but a primary role is to preserve the national interest. The army is organized into different arms. The first is the combat arms, which are the fighting arms, armored corps. They have the battle tanks, infantry, the ground foot soldier, and the mechanized infantry, the ground foot soldier who is now mechanized. Those combat arms are supported by the combat support arms, the engineers to provide the engineer support, laying of bridges, construction of road in battlefield, signals for providing the communication between all the arms, artillery to provide the firepower, fire arsenal to the fighting arms, the army air defense to provide any defense against any enemy external air threat, army aviation to carry out any heli operations. The combat support arm and the combat arms are supported by the logistic support arms. They help us to survive in the battlefield. It is the Army Service Corps, Ordnance Corps, Medical Corps and Corps of AME. The main thing, how is the life in the army? As a life in the army, these are the things which I learned when I got commissioned in army. You always do active operations in day-to-day routine, which makes your life adventurous. You get to see the counter-terrorism, the special operation in our own territory and across the border also. Then, for the preserving the national interest and inside the internal security, we do disaster relief tasks also, the flood relief tasks, evacuation, and UN peacekeeping missions, for which we are given assignment across the nation like Lebanon and many other countries. In any profession, you always want to grow in your life. But as an army, We all think that what is there to grow, but in army also you can have a professional growth. And how you can achieve that? When you go in your service, at each service bracket you have different courses, career courses and qualifications, which makes you technically sound also. With every profession, like I am a captain now and I have to get promoted to a major, I have to do my professional courses. To get a promotion in army you have to pass certain kind of professional courses which make you professionally competent also. Then there are technical courses also. Like I am a graduate in BTech, and similarly I look forward to complete my MTech through army also. So the army doesn't make you a warrior, it also makes you a scholar warrior also. Then you get to do a management courses also and different language courses. When you get a foreign assignment, you get to do the foreign courses. And similarly, you get sponsoring for higher degrees and qualification. You get to do your MTech from the IITs, and you get a study leave for which you can get a leave for 2 years and prepare for the higher education. That means your professional growth doesn't stop at commissioning. At each phase in your life, from each promotion, you get new challenges and you go ahead. And the one thing I was looking forward to before joining the army was I was traveling. I always wanted to travel. You get the opportunity to travel extensively and see the world. You get to see the places where others can't go. And you places an army person can visit. You can visit the whole country also. The parts where a normal Indian citizen cannot go. You see that those parts overseas and on peacekeeping missions and embassies. You get foreign assignment in Bhutan and other countries. In army we say we all are a big family in which we take care of ourselves. For what I'm looking forward to my family when I join the army. For their comfort, we have the family quarters, as you can see in the station also. They secure and clean cantonments. There are many sports facilities. You can see the auditoriums, sports complexes in any cantonment you go. So army take care not of you also, but of your family also. In nowadays in field posting also you're having family quarters also. Even if you are deployed ahead, you have family quarters for your family. The status in army, I may not say it is at par with every job in outside, but what we get, you get a class 1 gazetted officer, you enjoy a very high status in your life, you have a high pay band and almost equivalent to any other government services outside. You're equivalent to Indian administrative services and higher to any other central services in protocol. When I got commissioned, my classmates, my batchmates who were serving outside, were in any MNC companies or doing some job, their starting pay band was much lower than what I was getting paid at that time. Eventually they crossed me over a time because, but the pride I feel each day in serving in this profession is much satisfying to me than any other profession. The emoluments, what are the service benefit? Whenever you are joining a profession, you always look forward to what are the service benefit. Why you would want to join the profession? What are the advantages? As a pay package, as a lieutenant, when you get commission from the academy, you get salaries up to close to corporate salaries. And even during your training period also, if you are a regular entry, during your training period also you get a stipend of approximately 46,000. And in commissioning as a lieutenant, you get 60 to 65,000 as your basic pay, and which keeps on growing over the years, which I think is a very highly paid job. For the other service benefits which you get, those are the entitled rations, free medical treatment for self and dependents, the families, canteen facilities, and your sufficient amount of leave. If you are serving for 20 to 70 days over a year, then you get at least 90 days of leave to go your home. Then you have to free warrant to travel inside the country also and outside also with yourself and dependents. and then you get various kind of allowances. Then other some other benefits also, like for your children you have the reinvestment of your tuition fees. Then you have the army welfare housing facilities. These are the government housing plans which have been made for the army. They are in Delhi also and Dehradun and many places in which you can apply for the army welfare housing. Then you travel in air, you have a concession on flights, you have the annual grants and cash for gallantry award winners. If you do uh, good in your field posting, you get cash grant annual and annuity also. And then you have army schools all across the nation for the professional institutes for quality of good education for your children also. These are the some of the Army Welfare Education Society, Army Institute of Technology Pune, Army Institute of Management, and many across the nation. Then, after serving for over the 15 to 20 years in the army, we all look forward to what are the benefits which are there which I can get after post retirement. You get a pension at 50% of last pay drawn. You get a debt come retirement gratuity, free medical treatment including for dependents also, in service and after retirement also. Then you have the canteen facilities, insurance cover for your family. Then after commissioning, army provides an opportunity for resettlement courses also. If you are short service commission and you want to leave army after 10 years service, then army gives you an opportunity of resettlement courses. You can go for MBA, MTech and higher education from IIM, IITs. For that, you get a 6 months courses conducted at reputed business schools like IIM in Ahmedabad, Kolkata, Bangalore, and Indore. So army takes care of you in training also, in service also, and post retirement also. And there's a MBA program for retired officers also. Now I will telling you about how to join, how to get enrolled in this elite profession of arm. Firstly, there is a 10+2 level entry. Like I am a regular entry, I am a permanent commission officer. From class 8 to 12, you can start preparing for your army. If you want to join army, you can opt for RAMC, you can go to RAMC also. Even if you don't go to any Saini school, military school, RAMC also, you can apply for 10+2 level entry. In 10+2 level entry, it is immediately when you complete your 10+2 exam. It is a national level UPSC exam which you have to clear, and then you go through a service selection board. You have to clear your interview, and then you get to join the academy. There is a graduate level entry, there is a permanent commission and short service commission. The difference in both the commission is that permanent commission officers have to serve 20 years, and for the 20 years they can get their retirement benefits also. If you want to join an army for your adventure and you want to leave army after having the adventure of like 7 to 8 years and 10 years, and you want to go outside and explore outside also, then you have the short service commission entry also. At least I will talking about both these entry add in my lecture also. Then there's women special entry is also there, and then a technical entry. Like I'm a technical graduate, but after 10+2 you can also opt for technical entry, like 10+2 TES entry. Or after completing your graduation, you do a bachelor degree like BTech or BE from any university, and you can join the army. Firstly, for the men, after 10+2, you can opt for NDA, that is National Defence Academy, which is presently in Khadakwasla. There's a 3 years of training at NDA, and you can opt for Army, Air Force, and Navy. And there's 1 year you come back to IMA, that is in Dehradun, and you get commission. And if you don't want to join in 10+2, then there's an option of IMA direct entry. That means you complete your graduation from outside, you give your CDS, that is written exam, and you get enrolled in IMA Dehradun and get 1 year of training and get commission as an officer. Then is a 10+2 TS technical entry scheme, in which you have to attain a certain minimum amount of percentage in your class 12th exam. That is a cutoff percentage is set. That I am a 10+2 TS entry scheme, so I have my cutoff percentage when I passed out from my school. It was 82% or 80% or 78%. It varies and then you can apply for the interview directly, that is, and you can go through the interview. For that you have 4 years of training. 1 year of training at OTA Gaya, which is now presently being shifted to IMA Dehradun. Then you have 3 years of training at various cadets training wing, that is MCT Mahu for the IT and telecommunication engineering, CME Pune for the electrical engineering, and for the MCME you have go for the mechanical engineering you go to MCME Secunderabad, and after 4 years you get commission. Then there is a UES entry, which is has a 1 year of training at IMA. They are the technical graduates. They generally BTech and they get enrolled in arms of engineers. Then there is a technical graduate commission. It is also a graduation after graduation entry, and in which you get to train for 1 year in IMA. If you want to serve army in a short service, you want to serve for a short span, and then you want to go outside and explore your other options also. For adventure, you want to join army, then is a short service commission also. In this, you have both non-tech and tech, SS, and both get trained at OTA Chennai. For that, if you are non-technical entry, you can apply from the BA, BSc, any graduation, any graduate and degree you have, you can apply for the SSC non-tech. Then if you want to join as a law graduate, if you want to do a law after 12 you want to apply for LLB and you want to go do a law graduate, then also you can join army after completing your graduation as a JAG entry. There is a SSC tech entry in which you complete your engineering degree or BTech degree from outside, and then you come to us as a SSC tech, you go through a interview, and then you have a joining at OTA Chennai. Then a technical graduate entry, if you want to teach in army, you want to join as an education officer here, you can have a technical graduate entry also, that is Army Education Corps. For the same they have the 1 year of training at IMA Dehradun. Then there is the SSC Tech. If you want to do MBBS from outside and you want to serve as a doctor in army, then you have the SSC Tech, that is Army Medical Corps, and you have a training at OTS AMC Center School for 9 weeks of training, and you join as a doctor in Indian Army. Then there is NCC Special Entry Scheme. If you have a NCC certificate of Class B or Class C certificate also, there is a special entry which has been made for the NCC, in which you can apply directly for the interview. You have an interview and then you have applied for the joining at OTA Chennai. Then for the AMC medical officer also, if you want to join as a permanent doctor, there is a permanent commission for medical also, and you get training at AFMC Pune. For the women also, army provides vast number of opportunities. You all must have heard in the news also. And now women are getting promoted in higher rank also, and they have given opportunities to lead the men in combat also. That is in field posting. For the women, we have the SSC non-tech and JAG entry, that is similar to completing your graduation, and post-graduate you apply for the SSC tech. You go through a written exam, you SSB, you get clear your SSB, and you join at OTA Chennai for 49 weeks of training. For the women also, we have the SSC non-tech and technical entry. When the one who has completed a technical degree from outside, they can apply for the SSC tech, and from the OTA Chennai, they have the 49 weeks of training. Then there is a technical graduate. If you have completed your MA or MSc from outside, any BA degree or any educational degree that you have completed from outside, you can apply for Army Education Corps. That is the corps which is there to have education in army. You can apply for that, and you have a same training of OTA Chennai of 49 weeks. And similarly for MBBS, NCC, and permanent commission as Army Medical Corps. For all the women, you all must be thinking that what are the physical attributes? Is there any physical attributes which are there for the woman? There are no limitation, but these are general attributes which I am flashing in front of you. They are generally required for the women to join army. But I don't think these things should stop you. Then you have the written exam. After you choose for the entry, you apply for the application for that entry. There's a written exam, like for a permanent commission 10+2 NDA. You have a written exam. It is all India UPSC exam, in which you have these subjects. They have maths and general ability test, and generally you have to, there's a 120 question of 2.5 hours you have to complete, and There are 300 marks for each question. There are the general markings. Basically, they are looking forward to the basic knowledge which you have in the 11th and 12th. If you have done your basics, if your basics are clear in your 10th, 11th, and 12th, and you're fairly okay in studying also, then you can apply for these exams. If the maths and general ability, in general ability you have the physics, chemistry, general science, history, geography, and current affairs. Then after graduate entry, then you get to go through a college. You are more mature. Then you have a same. You have to apply for a application, and then you have the exam on the English, general knowledge, and maths. The difference is that the when you get after 10 plus 2, the level of exam which you face after graduation is not the same. It is totally different, but it's generally okay if you do well average also in your 10 plus 2, then also you can apply for this exam. Then after clearing a UPSC exam, you get to go through a service selection board, that is SSB. That is various centers are across the country in which the service selection board is there. You go on the first day, there's a screening on that. Stage 1 is a preliminary screening in which you have intelligence tests carried out. There are two major tests which are done on the preliminary screening, that is intelligence test and picture perception test. Intelligence test, you have the certain set of questions which you have to answer, and picture perception test, there's a theme on picture in which you have to visualize and write your own story, and then you have to discuss on that. After clearing your preliminary screening, you go through a stage 2. That is, in stage 2, there are many entries, many applicants who will come for stage 1. Most of them can get filtered out in the stage 1 only, that is preliminary screening. And when for the stage 2, you have the group discussion, the one picture perception test which we have done earlier, the group discussion was carried out on that. Then we have word association test and thematic appreciation test. Don't go by the what I am saying, there is thematic appreciation, SRT. These are simple tests, there's a set of questions which are there. The words, you have to frame a sentence, you have given a theme, you have to write a story. In situational reaction test, you have given a situation and you have to write your reaction to that for 2 or 3 lines. And then you have the lecture. You will be given a topic in which 2 or 3 topics you have to choose among them. You have a time of 2 to 3 minutes and you have to speak on that. Then is the individual and group obstacle. You have to go through the group obstacle tasks. You have a ground test and there's an interview. After growing these 2 stages, stage 1 and stage 2. Stage 2 is your conference is held in which you are selected for the conference. The remaining person from the stage 1 are filtered on the stage 2 and you get to clear a conference. In the written exam and your clearance in your conference, there's a merit is formed, not in all cases, but a number of limited seats in which, according to your scoring in your written exam and your performance in your service selection board, you get a merit list, and according to seat availability, you get enrolled in various training academies. After going through 4 years of training in army, I learned that it made me trained and tasked to lead men to battle. There are many tasks, many day-to-day tasks which I get in army and uh, everything is new to me. But due to my training of over 4 years and how well trained I was, I get to clear those challenges also. I get to become a leader, a commander. You have around for a lieutenant and captain, you have around 50 to 100 men in your company, in your battery, and you get to lead them. And first, and the most thing is you're a friend and a guide for his or her men. The men you command for them, you are a commander. You are a friend to them and a guide. You're a manager of human. You get in day-to-day routine. You have to manage many person in your life, material and technical resources. With the limited material and technical resources which are given to you, you have to complete a task. That means you become resource efficient also. You become a model of character, virtue and valor. The character and virtue which before joining the academy and after passing out, there's a vast difference, and which I learned is the most important thing. Then you get to learn the compassion and determination to do things which are not easy to do, but you have to determine to at least complete that task, and you have the compassion for your brothers. and as a famous saying, an iron fist in velvet glove. Uh, at the end, I would like to say that in army we do the difficult as a routine, but for me, impossible might take a bit longer. From this, I have ended my lecture. I would like, if any of you have any doubt and any question, you are free to ask. Is my voice audible to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Sir.
If you have any question, any query regarding how to join army, entry,
Yes,
or
sir.
SSB also, written exam also, you are free to ask. Firstly, I was clear to all of you. मैं आपको सुनाई दिया, मेरे आवाज आपको क्लियरली आई है, समझ आया कुछ जो मैंने बताया आपको?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Anyone if you have any doubt regarding any entry or how to join army?
Yes, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
So, firstly, a very good morning to you.
Thank
So,
you,
my
sir.
name is Priyanka Mundre,
Yes, Priyanka.
and I'm looking forward to ask you a question that most of the UPSC aspirant would have in their mind right now. So, sir, initially, what they say that the written exam is quite easy, but the real obstacle here comes with the SSB as well as the interview. So, sir, you have given your great and beautiful glimpse that you have joined after, like, you have given your glimpse after you have joined the Indian Army. But I would like to ask you that when you were an aspirant and sitting there for your SSB in front of a very respected and allied officer taking your interview, so what was going into your mind and how did you conquer your nervousness there?
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Uh, Good question, Priyanka. This was a question asked by many of my classmates also when I got like I joined army after my 10 plus 2. Uh, I also didn't join army with the intention of like I want to do well. I went there because I had the passion for joining the army. Then I went there for the initial phase when I was going through my screening. Screening may I had doubts because there were lakhs of students who had come for the applying for the screening. But when I went through that screening phase, the first two exam which I went through, the picture perception, the thematic, that there's a photograph is shown to you and you have to write a story on that. After that test, there was a group discussion happened, and among that group discussion, I learned many things. For a 10 plus 2, I was very fresh and I didn't have that much knowledge which I had now. But with a good group discussion, I gained my confidence. Then I went ahead for my conference in which a series of exams you have to go through. There's a ground technical test you have to go through. Then is the pictures perception test you have to go through. And then finally on the last day, you have the interview. Like you have the 5 days of your conference, and you have the interview on each day. For me, it was the last day of my conference in which I got the chance to get every interviewed. So when I was going inside, there was one thought which came to me that it is the last opportunity for me to go there and show that I am the best for this. When I got inside that interview room, one of my senior officer was sitting there. He interacted with me, so he saw me coming, and by seeing the charm that officer was having in front of me, I was impressed. I was motivated. I sat confidently in front of him, and firstly, he made me understand that the interview is not a pressure. It is the way to interact with the other person. He wanted to know about me, and I wanted to share the more things about me. For me, I think he was looking for me that bit of initiative for doing things, for going ahead in your life. and he saw that initiative in me, and I always wanted to join army from my school days only. So when I went inside, I was confident, and when I interacted with that senior officer was taking my interview, so he gave me confidence also. So this was a thing which was mindset which I went inside the interview.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Anyone, if you have any other question regarding the same?
हेलो गुड मॉर्निंग सर.
Good morning, Suvita.
मेरा लड़का क्लास 8 का सुदीप्त सरकार, मैं उसका पेरेंट्स बोल रहा हूँ. तो मैं आपके माध्यम से ये थोड़ा बोलने के लिए ये बताऊंगा, जैसे कि इस मुद्दे में हमें पहुंचने के लिए, इस मुद्दे को हमें हासिल करने के लिए हमारा लाइफ किस तरीका से हमें चलाना चाहिए या टाइम को किस हिसाब से हमें स्पेंड करना चाहिए. जैसे कि नेचर ऑफ फ्यूचर ऑफ आवर नेशन, या भी जो हमारा जो फ्यूचर है, हमारा नेशन का जो फ्यूचर है, उनके अंदर डिसिप्लिन कितना है, पोलाइटनेस कितना है, नेशन के लिए कितना सोचते हैं, फैमिली के लिए कितना सोचते हैं, पर्सनल लाइफ के लिए कितना सोचते हैं, मतलब डिसिप्लिन कितना है, हर ओवरऑल मतलब इस मुद्दे को हासिल करने के लिए, एक गुड सिटीजन या इस मुद्दे में पहुंचने के लिए हमारा अंदर क्या क्या होना चाहिए, जो बेसिक फंडामेंटल जो टूल है, लॉक एंड की है, उसको.
ओके, आपका जो क्वेश्चन है, सवाल जो है बहुत
से हमें
अच्छा
शामिल
है,
करना चाहिए, जिसके माध्यम से
बेसिकली आप जानना चाहेंगे व्हाट इज द मूल मंत्र. यू वांट टू आस्क फॉर अ मूल मंत्र. फॉर मी देयर इज नो मूल मंत्र फॉर द सेम. अगर आपको आर्मी ज्वाइन करनी है, आई ऑल्सो ज्वाइन. मैंने जब आर्मी ज्वाइन की थी, मैंने भी 12th के बाद ही आर्मी ज्वाइन की थी, आफ्टर कंप्लीटिंग माई 12th एग्ज़ाम. जब मैंने 12th अपनी कंप्लीट की, उसके बाद ही मैंने आर्मी ज्वाइन की. तो फॉर अ स्टूडेंट, एज ए स्टूडेंट, आप पहले से ही अपनी लाइफ में डिसिप्लिन नहीं हो सकते हैं. बट when you have that aim in your life, you can start achieving that. आप पहले से ही उसकी शुरुआत कर सकते हैं. अगर आप आज ही चाहते हैं कि मैं आर्मी में ज्वाइन करना चाहता हूँ, आर्मी ऑफिसर में ज्वाइन करना चाहता हूँ, तो आप आज से ही उसका स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. आप अभी से अपने लाइफ के डे टू डे रूटीन को चेंज कर सकते हैं, आपके स्टडी टाइम पीरियड को चेंज कर सकते हैं, लेकिन उससे ज़्यादा फ़र्क नहीं है. मेन है एम है आप मेंटली क्या सोचते हैं उसके बारे में, आपका मेंटली उसके प्रति वो क्या है. अगर आप 10+2 के या 11th क्लास के 10th क्लास के स्टूडेंट्स को बोलोगे कि आप डिसिप्लिन लाइफ जिए, आर्मी की लाइफ जिए, तो आई डोंट थिंक वो पॉसिबल है. जब मैंने भी आर्मी ज्वाइन की, तो मैंने भी यही सोच के नहीं किया था कि मैं डिसिप्लिन रहूँगा और मैं ये ऐसी सारी चीज़ें करूँगा. जैसे मेरा एम था कि मैं एडवेंचर और ट्रैवलिंग को देख रहा था, तो मैंने उसके लिए आर्मी ज्वाइन की थी. बट व्हेन यू गेट टू ज्वाइन आर्मी, जब आप अपना रिटन एग्ज़ाम क्लियर करते हैं, हाँ, आपको अपने रिटन एग्ज़ाम की तैयारी बिल्कुल करनी पड़ेगी. आपको यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फॉर रिटन एग्ज़ाम. आपको अपने एसएसबी की तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी. अगर आप वेल प्रिपेयर तरीके से अपने एसएसबी और रिटन एग्ज़ाम देते हैं, देन यू गोइंग टू जॉइन आर्मी. जो ट्रेनिंग होती है आपकी 4 साल की, दैट ट्रेनिंग टीचेस यू एवरीथिंग. वो आपको ट्रेनिंग आपको पूरे 4 साल में सब कुछ उस तरीके से मोल्ड कर देती है, क्योंकि एक 10+2 के बाद आपका माइंड फ्रेश रहता है, वो किसी भी डायरेक्शन में आप जा सकते हैं. वो ट्रेनिंग आपको उस डायरेक्शन में मोल्ड कर देती है, और फिर आप मोल्ड करके उस डायरेक्शन में चले जाते हैं. आपकी लाइफ, आपका सोच विचार आपकी लाइफ की तरफ, आपके डे टू डे रूटीन की तरफ, आपकी फैमिली की तरफ, सोशलाइज आपके आसपास के लोगों की तरफ, किसी इम्पॉसिबल चीज़ को करने की इच्छा, उसको अचीव करने की इच्छा, ये सब जो चीज़ें होती हैं आपकी लाइफ में उस ट्रेनिंग के थ्रू इंस्टिल कर दी जाती हैं. वो ट्रेनिंग करिकुलम ऐसा होता है, वो माहौल ऐसा होता है कि आप उसमें ऐसा ढल जाते हैं. तो आई थिंक अभी आपको फोकस करना चाहिए अपने रिटन एग्ज़ाम के लिए और मेंटली प्रिपेयर. आप चाहते क्या हैं लाइफ में? अगर आपको एक एडवेंचर लाइफ चाहिए और जो चीज़ें मैंने आपको बताई, हाई स्टेटस चाहिए आपको, गुड लाइफ, जो भी आपके मन में एट्रीब्यूट्स आपको लगते हैं कि जो आर्मी आपको प्रोवाइड कर सकती है, उस सोच विचार के साथ आप अपनी तैयारी कीजिए। आप अपना रिटर्न एग्ज़ाम की तैयारी कीजिए एंड यू आप एसएसबी की तैयारी कीजिए एंड यू अप्लाई फॉर द आर्मी। द ट्रेनिंग आपको सब कुछ सिखा देगी एंड व्हेन यू गेट कमीशन यू ऑटोमेटिकली आप एक फिनिश प्रोडक्ट की तरह निकलते हैं एंड यू कैन स्टैंड कॉन्फिडेंटली इन फ्रंट ऑफ एवरीवन आल्सो। सुनीता, आई होप आई हैव आंसर्ड यू करेक्टली। आपको जवाब मिल गया?
यस यस,
आप
थैंक
यही
यू।
जानना चाह रहे थे कि कुछ और जानना चाह रहे थे?
एक्चुअली इस मुद्दे पे, इस टारगेट को हासिल करने के लिए हमारा मेंटली फिजिकली किस हिसाब से, और प्रेजेंटली जो हमारा जो सोसाइटी है, सोसाइटी के अंदर किस हिसाब से बदलाव होना चाहिए, मतलब ओवरऑल। क्योंकि ओवरऑल आज का डेट में टाइम सबके पास है, लेकिन मोबाइल में ज्यादा बिजी है, फिजिकल एक्टिविटीज नहीं है। और जिस फैमिली का अंगुली पकड़ के बड़ा होता है, उस फैमिली को साइड में कर देते हैं और नेशन के साथ गद्दारी करते हैं। तो ये जो मेंटली जो हमारा जो गुणवत्ता है, इस गुणवत्ता को किस हिसाब से हमें बढ़ाना चाहिए, मानसिक रूप से हमें किस हिसाब से संतुलन में रहना चाहिए, उसका एटमॉस्फेयर ज्यादा जरूरी है। जैसे कि अच्छा अगर कल्टीवेशन हो, उसमें बीज डाले तो सही फसल उग सकता है, लेकिन अगर कल्टीवेशन सही नहीं है तो वहां पर अच्छा बीज डालने से भी रिजल्ट अच्छा नहीं आएगा। तो इसका ऊपर मेरा फोकस था।
ओके, मैं आपकी इस प्रॉब्लम को समझ गया हूँ एंड समस्या की मैं समझ गया। आप इसमें 2-3 चीज़ें हैं जो मेरा मानना है इसमें। थोड़ा आई डोंट, ये थोड़ा टॉपिक से हमारा डिफरेंट है, लेकिन फिर भी मैं आपका इसमें इसको एक्सप्लेन करना चाहूँगा। इसमें आपकी 2-3 चीज़ें हैं। विद द करेंट वे ऑफ लाइफ, अभी जो हमारी लाइफस्टाइल चल रहा है, विद द करेंट जो आजकल की हम जनरेशन देख रहे हैं एंड द पीपल वो आर नाउ, अगर कोई फ़ोन यूज़ कर रहा है, आज की रिक्वायरमेंट है। आज सिर्फ मैं एज एन आर्मी में सिर्फ एक वॉरियर ऑफिसर की तरह नहीं हूँ, मैं एक टेक्निकल वॉरियर ऑफिसर भी हूँ। तो हम आजकल अपनी टेक्निकली एडवांस भी, हमारी लाइफ आजकल हो गई है, पीपल उसमें एडवांस कर रहे हैं। हाँ, कुछ वर्च्यूज़ और कुछ वैल्यूज़ हैं जो हमारी हम पीछे छोड़ते जा रहे हैं, बट उसके लिए हमको खुद से एक बार शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी। वो एक हमारी पर्सनल चॉइस है, वो आपका माहौल है, किस इन्वायरमेंट में आप रहते हैं, किस जगह पे आप रहते हैं। अब वो माहौल अगर आप आपस में क्रिएट कर पाएँ, उस माहौल में आप रह पाएँ, तब आप उसकी तरफ सोच सकते हैं। पर रही बात आपके ये मोबाइल यूज़ करने की, या इसकी जो जैसे आपके पॉइंट है कि आजकल के वर्च्यूज़ लॉस्ट हो गए हैं, वो आजकल लाइफस्टाइल ऐसी है दैट वी ऑल हैव टू एडवांस इन आवर लाइफ। इवन एज एन आर्मी आई वांट टू बी टेक्निकली साउंड। तो ऐसे लोग आजकल टेक्निकली आपस में लाइफ में बढ़ना चाहते हैं, लेकिन जो वर्च्यूज़ हैं वो हमारी आपस के माहौल और इन्वायरमेंट के बाद ही बिल्डअप हो पाएगी। आई होप आई आंसर्ड यू। इट इज़ डिफरेंट फ्रॉम द टॉपिक, बट इसके लिए हम सबको उसमें शुरुआत करनी पड़ेगी, हम सबको स्टार्ट करना पड़ेगा, और आपस में ही इंटरेक्शन के बाद जैसा माहौल हम बनाएंगे, इसी हम उसके बाद ही हम आगे बढ़ पाएंगे।
ओके, थैंक यू सर।
थैंक यू, थैंक यू, थैंक यू सो मच। ये तो सही है ना? लगता है इसमें टाइम कितना हो गया? ऑफिस जाना है अभी।
आज आप सभी को कैसे डिलीवरी सर्विसेज में आप इन होंगे, कौन कौन सी सुविधाएं, कौन कौन से बेनिफिट्स आपको मिलेंगे, और इसके अलावा आप कैसे और सारी चीज़ों को समझ सकते हैं, जान सकते हैं। सर ने अपने वक्तव्यों के माध्यम से, पीपीटी के माध्यम से अपनी बातों को एक्सप्लेन करते हुए बहुत अच्छा ही प्रेजेंटेशन दिए, बहुत अच्छा प्रेजेंटेशन दिए, जिसमें आप इंस्टीट्यूट के प्रति आप अभिरुचि विकसित होगी और निश्चित रूप से आप इन चीज़ों को सीख करके और मिलिट्री सर्विसेज में जाने के लिए
हुआ नहीं क्या?
केंद्रीय विद्यालय
यहाँ पे